Hey,
Hello.
hey, I think we're going to have a light group of people today.
No worries. Sorry I couldn't make the last one.
That's all good. I'm going to remind people in the Slack.
Yeah, maybe we should start like tweeting before as well. Like every
Yeah, I just get super behind, but yeah, I should tweet. I have a meeting right before this for the Go Steady group
Okay.
that I should also tweet. I actually need to make a bot for that, for both, like a little tweet bot reminding people to come and join.
It's
You
still
know the
technically
Twitter deck. You use
sorry, go on.
yeah. Aaron, you use Twitter deck, right? You can
Yeah.
schedule a tweet there.
Do you know if I can schedule a recurring tweet?
Oh, then I don't know. Let's check.
I'm gonna write that down.
It's still Hacktoberfest as well, so you could just get someone else to do it for you.
Put it in make the bot. Yeah, we have what, 5 more days?
Yeah. People like t-shirts.
Yeah. Make me a tweet bot. But yeah, usually when I send out the tweet, it's like 2 or 3 more people than normal. So that's good. Manu's coming. I think that's probably going to be it. So let's just get started.
Sorry.
Say what?
You can schedule only one tweet.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll figure something out. I saw a Node.js framework for like a really fast tweet bot, so I might do that. Put one on the interwebs somewhere. Okay, let's just get started now. There is 2 things. So first of all, I'm going to share my screen real quick. There's some changes. So I started, well, actually a few people started writing this stuff, like things that I want to do that we should do, I think, each meeting. So I don't think there's anyone new, unless you want to introduce yourself again, Chris. It's up to you. Okay.
No, I'm all right.
All right, right on. And then there's this whole thing that that I thought of, and then like some folks liked and some folks didn't like. That was all about triaging. So the idea, and I think the PR for this is still open. I can't remember. But basically the idea is like, we don't need to get pull requests merged faster. That's not the goal at all, but I think that it would be nice to make sure that pull requests are making progress. So that means like if a PR has been open for 4 days, it got reviewed on day 1, and then the person who submitted it didn't come back to it. It's like if they don't come back to it, that's cool, but they should at least get pinged, like mentioned on GitHub, at least once in case they forgot or whatever. And if they did forget, cool, they can come back if they can. But if they can't come back, the PR should probably either get closed or have that do not merge label, so that we can kind of put it on the back burner for if they do want to come back, or if someone else wants to take it over, or if it's just like, it's good to keep open to remind us about something. It's kind of like, if the case calls for it, it would be good to do. So that is the idea behind triaging. Let me go see if that issue is still open, or the PR is still open. Yeah, so it's PR number 803. The basic idea is, let me go into here. there is a Google Doc. Basically, the Google Doc is like your GitHub handle and the date you want to do it. So we're kind of aiming for like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And if you ever want to do it, this PR I'm hoping will get merged soonish. If you ever want to do it, you just literally go and sign up for whatever day you want. You don't have to do it every week that day. It's literally like that one day. If you want to do it every week, that's cool. You just, write down a bunch of dates that you want to do it. But this is just kind of like, we're trying it out. Absolutely anybody in the community can do it. And in the PR, there's a description of like what it means to, like, what you have to do for triage. Kind of tried to basically just keep it to like no more than 15 minutes for any single triage. So yeah, it's pretty lightweight. My goal is not to like make this a super heavyweight, like enterprisey thing. It's more to just like make sure people remember that, hey, they owe you another review, or hey, someone reviewed your PR and like you should go back and check it out and fix stuff if it needs to be fixed, or do whatever you need to do. And of course, that's all assuming you have time. Do people have feedback or questions on that here before I move on? People hate this idea, love this idea. Where are we on this? Okay. And also if people don't take triage days, I'm probably going to end up taking them anyway. So don't feel like you have to. I definitely don't want it to be that kind of vibe at all. If you can, awesome. And that's a cool way to stay involved and get involved. But if you can't do it, doing PRs and issues and doing the stuff we've already been doing, that's still totally fine. This doesn't change anything with that. So that is triage. And sort of the other half of this whole like triage topic is that I wanted to have us take like 15 minutes or so at each meeting, so that would be weekly, to go have a chance to like go through issues. So this is open-ended too. My idea was if anyone has issues they want to talk about, this would be a great time to get into that. Or if people don't, then we can just go over issues like that are in the next milestone, and also issues that have been created recently. So that being said, let's do this. So first of all, do people have issues they want to chat about? We'll start there. Okay. Second one.
I wasn't fast enough.
Yeah, go for it.
I added a comment on this issue, but I think you recently created the issue about passing the loggers down the stack. So, and this may not be the venue, but I just thought I'd at least mention, like, if I could get a little additional context in some way around that, that would be awesome. And again, it doesn't have to be now, but just throwing that out there.
This is cool with me to do it now.
Okay.
Were you talking about this one?
Yes, that one there.
Okay. So I can give part of it. This has been a long discussion. And let's see. So it started here on August 20th. And so what is that? That's like 3 months ago, 2 months ago. But basically, for tracing, the idea was it'd be nice to have like the same log context starting at the HTTP handler and going all the way down to the storage. And let's go into here. So we have these middlewares, and it looks like, let me find it here. Is it? Oh, yeah. So it's here. We have these middlewares, and the middleware is like they're kind of what they sound like. You know, they sit between Buffalo and the actual HTTP handler. So in this case, let me expand the whole thing. So in this case, it's deciding whether a module is excluded by a filter. So what's happening is, if we just go down here, if it's an exclude, if the module is excluded, then we do forbidden. If it's in the filter as direct, then we go to the HTTP handler for the module. And in the handler, that's the thing that, you know, gets it from storage and sends it back to the client or whatever. Then this one means that it's going to redirect to an upstream proxy. And then all of these cases, for right here, we have this logger, and the logger is stored inside of the context. But as I understand it, we've also got these tracing spans as well. And the tracing spans are for open census. So they're, you know, like you can send them out to Google's tracing and Jaeger and Azure's tracing. I think there's an Amazon one. There's all these like services that give you nice UIs for like what the trace was. So I think the whole deal behind this was we want to find a way to send the logger, all of the data that came along with the logger, and the trace data. We want to send that all down into here. So that would be into the handler. And then like inside of a handler, we want to send the same thing down into the stuff that the handler calls. So that's the best I got. But let me go back here. Oops. No. What have I done? Yeah. So when I went back here, I submitted this thing. Come on, load. So this thing was kind of a mess. This was like, I tried and it was bad. And I tried to use the built-in logger for Buffalo. So that's the thing that's in the buffalo.context. And it's backed by this logrus driver, and logrus has like all the log data kind of jammed inside of it. So you can do structured logging. So it's linked in that issue, but basically I tried to do this to like keep the HTTP method path and URL in, even when you're down inside of storage and stuff. So this is like a template kind of, but like Marwan would know a lot more about the tracing. Like for example here, he had an idea for how warn should work, but it doesn't work that way with the Buffalo logger, so we're kind of screwed there. And then if I go back to the conversation, Federico had a really good idea that I don't quite understand even still, something about closures. So also talk to him if you're interested in this. So
Cool.
that's the best I got. The one thing I do know though is you can do this, a lot of this you can do sort of incrementally. So like you can choose maybe one HTTP handler and then get this working like for that handler and then down the stack, or at least like maybe one frame down the stack or something, and like show, hey, this is how it would work. You could submit that as a PR, I think. And then, you know, after that, we could leave that issue, we could leave this issue open and just say, hey, here's an example, like who wants to do more of it? That's, to me, that's totally fine. I mean, we can make progress that way, great.
Nice. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Not tackle the whole thing in one shot.
Well, yeah, you see what happened when I tried to do it. Let me see. It was open for, I opened it in early September, so that was a month. It got a bunch of reviews and like 2 days later, and then, yeah. And then like about a month ago, I was like, oh, I just got back to this, and then 2 days ago I closed it. So I tried to do everything, and it didn't go well. So yeah, if you can do a little bit, great.
Cool, thanks.
Sure. So let's go back here. Other issues that people want to talk about? I'll point out one. GitHub Actions. Chris, yeah, I know you had ideas here. This one's kind of a fun one, and I will check out Azurite. Put that on my queue. But yeah, this one I thought it'd be fun and probably useful later on for us to think about what to use GitHub Actions for on our repo. So something to think about. If you got ideas, throw them in there. It's issue number 808. I also wanted to talk about beta. Do people have other things they want to talk about though? Okay. Let me go through these and then we'll have time also later. So beta. Beta is basically us publishing a v0.1.0 tag and a GitHub release for it as well. And that's kind of an indication that, hey, like this is a thing that people can use internally. It's pretty solid. It's been tested, that kind of thing. Most of the things here, so everything except for this issue. So there's 4 issues left in beta. 3 of them are all around docs. Sorry, half of them are around docs. The other half are around features. We got auth for bazaar and config files, permissions for config files. I think this issue has a PR open for it. Yeah. So this is a PR that's open for it. The other issue, I'm not sure if there's a PR for this one. There's docs. So this actually might be closed. I'm not 100% sure. So I'll go back through this and right after this meeting, and I'll look through these and see what's going on. But there are 4 issues left. And once we get these done, we can cut a beta. And that'll be pretty cool. We'll have, a blog post and Twitter and stuff. So if someone is interested in doing any of these, even if there's someone else working on it, just ping. There's probably a way you can help. I know I'm doing some doc stuff, so if you want to pair on docs, that's totally cool. If not, there's obviously tons of other issues too. So like, don't feel like you have to do these things, but thought I'd point them out because they're like the things we're doing right now to get to beta. So that is all the issues from me. Any other issues people want to talk about? Okay. I have one last thing then, and that is naming. So we had a lot of discussion around naming, you might remember. You may or may not remember. It all started because Carolyn and some other people, including me a few times, found at GopherCon and then a couple times after that people were just like, hey, what's Athens? They didn't know like what it was all about. So Carolyn opened this issue and proposed a bunch of different names, and we voted. So like GoMods proxy, GoMods registry, they got most of the votes. But then later on, and then some folks said, well, there's already a mod prox with a proxy and a registry as well. And then we had some discussion around, is Olympus going to be a thing that we do? And Olympus was this registry architecture that was kind of like the registry was going to be a thing that was global and the proxy was going to be on the edge. So we decided, okay, well, we need to wait and see if Olympus is going to be a thing. And then down here, we discussed last week sorry. Yeah, we discussed this last week, but we also discussed this last week and 2 weeks ago. So this thing is, we're going to host the Athens proxy publicly on the public internet. We're going to call it a preview. So it's going to have these guarantees. This is issue number 772, so you can go read the guarantees. But along with this, we decided, okay, we're not going to do Olympus anymore. So going back to the vote, that kind of changed the vote because we don't have to have an Athens and an Olympus, so there's not that confusion. So last week we decided, okay, let's vote between the highest vote here. So let's vote between GoMod's proxy and Athens, which is what we were using already. So I just said, I made the executive decision. I'm sorry, everybody, but I wanted to get this naming thing done. I wanted to put that behind us. And I just said, okay, let's just stick with what we got. We're just going to keep calling it Athens. So super anticlimactic, I know, but I wanted to let everybody know, like, hey, I made the decision. Sorry if folks don't like it, but I hope everyone's cool with it-ish, because we've already been calling it Athens. I felt like we probably shouldn't change it. So who hates me? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's it for me then. I've been blabbing a lot, so if other folks have stuff they want to say, please interrupt me. Otherwise, you have to listen to me. Okay. Cool. I think we're good then for this week. Last chance? I see a lot of stuff in the chat. Let me see. Manu PR, yeah. Okay. So I'll go through today and tomorrow also and do PR. Like tomorrow I'll do the triage thing we were talking about, but today I'll just go through and I'm going to try to get a couple of my PRs in, but I'll also do a quick review of other people's.
Is there anything that we need to do for the preview?
Yeah. There's some bigger things that still haven't been broken down. So it's under the preview milestone. This one's like a meta thing. The big things are number 761. Actually, the big things are basically, these are the big things. I don't know why I talk sometimes, but yeah. These are like this one and this one, 761 and 760. They definitely need to be broken down into smaller things. So if you want to start on those, let's talk and we can start breaking them down. CI/CD is probably self-explanatory. We don't have a place to deploy it yet, but I'm just going to use my work account for Azure and we can deploy it there. So
Yeah.
if you're...
We could just use the Azure Pipelines YAML if you're going to use that stuff, like, and then build out from there.
Yeah, if you're interested in working on the map, let me know. I'll just set up an account and throw the credentials. I'll give you the credentials and hope that you don't steal them.
Yeah, I don't mind doing that. Yeah.
Okay. We can put them into Travis CI also if that's the way you want to go, because we can deploy from Azure. So up to you. Pipelines or Travis or something else, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so ping me. Just DM me and I'll give you the credentials.
All right. It's a lot of trust. Thanks.
I mean,
Aaron, can we have
go for it. Sorry.
Can we have a Athens subscription maybe on Athens on Azure? So
Yeah,
we can share it.
Yeah, I'll have to create a new one, and then I'll give Chris. If you have an Azure account, then send me the email, I think, and I'll add you to the subscription.
Yeah, cool. And if you're scared, you can just put R back on, and then I can't really do much other than what you told me to do.
Yeah. I trust you. I'm not going to publish it publicly, but yeah, the subscription thing is a good idea, Mikhail. Cool. That would be a huge one, actually, because I mean, we can have like, we've got this experimental one. I put the URL into this announcement issue, but we can kind of have like, hey, this is the preview that we're working on. It's like the preview, I don't know, something, the in development preview deployment, whatever. But we can point like DNS at it. We can take like gomods.io and point it at the thing that you're working on, Chris, and we can test that thing out.
Cool. I'll update the ticket now, so I'm working on it.
Cool. Yeah, preview is a thing too. I'm dedicating most of my time on, besides triage, I'm doing a lot of stuff on beta. So Chris, if you've got questions or you want to pair on stuff, just like ping me and I'll go and help wherever I can. Otherwise,
yeah, cool. I haven't really been able to help much until recently because I've had loads of stuff on. But
sweet. Yeah, CI/CD would be awesome. And your call, what thing you want to deploy on? Because like, I mean, I deployed yesterday on Azure App Service, local Kubernetes. There's like so many options. I deployed on Zeit.co yesterday, which was a nightmare, but it worked. So
isn't that just like npm install and then you recommended it somehow deploys somewhere?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
They do have Docker support, so I did it on that, but it was really slow. It took like 30 minutes to build Athens from that deployment.
Wow.
So it was, yeah. But our current experimental one is on Azure App Service. So, but we also have Helm charts for Kubernetes. So you have to wade into the container soup and figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, it's what I do for a day job, so it should be all right.
Okay. Cool. This one will be hard. Marwan, you probably know a lot more about this than me. The distributed deduplication.
Right. I think I signed up for this one. I am waiting, and let me know if I should just get on it. What I wanted to do is that I wanted to actually pause until beta, then start working on it once beta is out.
Yeah, totally fine.
Just so that things are in order. I've already done something when we were back in the Olympus days, where I used, I think, etcd in a Kubernetes cluster to synchronize like state, basically. So we have a package called single flight, and it's basically uses in memory to synchronize incoming requests. And so the only difference is that instead of in memory, it's going to be distributed. So it takes the complexity from 1 to 100.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
So is this like you have to build another driver, I guess, for the single flight?
Yeah, pretty much. I'd have to adjust the code and I have to find the branch, but basically it's just going to make Olympus, it's going to make Athens, look at that mistake. It's going to make Athens distributed, and so it's going to change a lot of things. So that's just the one PR that changes single flight, but really it's part of a much bigger shift in that Athens is not going to be a single instance server anymore. And so docs are going to change, the way we set up development and deployment is also going to change. So it's basically a change in everything from the user's perspective as well. So
okay.
I just want to get beta ready first and have people try it out as a private server before we even get into that territory. But that's just me.
Yeah, that's fair enough. If folks do want to, if someone else wants to work on this, Marwan, can they like ask questions?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can also try to put the branch out if I can find it. But my own strong opinion is that if you want to work on it, go for it. But like we should just focus on beta, at least maybe from the maintainer's perspective. So I personally wouldn't want to focus on it, just because there's a lot with beta when it comes to just the core functionality of using like Go mod download and things that have to do with actual like module logic, like with the hashes bug that we have and like stuff like that. And I feel like once we get that to a very solid point, we can put more complexity, trusting that the fundamental module downloading and saving works well.
Okay.
So it's just a long answer to saying, like, if anyone wants to work on it, go for it. Like, that's something I've kind of worked on, and I'd be happy to also like finish it. But I really hope that we wait until beta is out before we even work on it.
All right, fair enough. You reminded me, is that Go mod download issue, is that still a thing in here?
Yes, I believe so, and I don't think it's probably it's after beta. Basically, it's that's just one of the things, and that was just like a random example. It's not necessarily what distributed stuff is waiting for, but there's just a lot of unanswered questions when it comes to downloading modules from the proxy when you're not using a particular version. So when you're using a hash, or you're just saying like, give me the latest version of master. And I think that never happens if you're in a CI/CD situation. So because beta, like if you're in a CI/CD, you're not going to be like, give me the latest version of master. You're just going to look at your Go mod file, and your Go mod file already has all the particular versions. So that's the difference. But the thing is, if right now you ask Athens for like the master version, it'll lock in what master means. So master should always mean the latest version. But right now, we would store in our storage whatever master means today. And if you come 10 days later, we'll give you a 10-day-old master.
I see. Where is that issue? Do you remember?
I don't remember the number. It's part of the it's all part of the hash. If you just say, if you look up the word hash, I believe you might find it, or SHA. Yeah, by revision, the second one.
Got it.
There's
Oh,
a bit of a discussion there. And so basically, there's also a corresponding Go issue, and I've actually submitted a Go fix for it that has not been reviewed. But even when that gets fixed, so it's a two-step process. When that gets fixed, mod download will work with revisions, but that doesn't mean Athens is automatically fixed. We really have to kind of take the storage complexity to another level, where we keep track of things like revisions and master and what they mean. And so, which is why I'm saying like these problems are a little bit more important than making Athens distributed right now.
Yeah.
There's like core functionality.
Do we need to put this in VO.1?
VO.1 comes after beta, then yes.
Okay.
And before preview or before distributed Athens. It's in between.
Okay. We probably should put it here, because that's what the beta was all. This is like where we've been putting beta stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to just put it there. There is some prior art here from our side, because I know with the list endpoint, we used to just do a Go list, just a plain Go list. But now we do a fallback if Go list doesn't work, like the repository is gone or something, then we just fall back to storage from what we last saw. So we could kind of do something similar for latest.
For latest, we could potentially get something similar, but we have to make sure we're storing things by hash and not by version. And so when we do latest, we get master. We don't save things as master. And so we might also start having a map between versions and modules, meaning like between hashes and modules. So if someone asks for master and master means hash ABC, we need to have a map if someone later on asked for ABC and not master to know that they mean the same thing.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Right. And so it's a little bit different from the list one, but it is very similar in the idea that you're dealing with what's current.
Yeah. Okay. I think I see what you mean. All right. This is a big one in O.1 then as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Super interesting. Okay. I've actually seen these 500s. I saw one yesterday, and now I know what it actually means. That's good.
Yeah, for sure. I would say if you're, so one thing we might want to put in the docs, and please disagree if and let me know, but one thing we might want to put in the docs for beta is that the Athens is meant for a CI/CD workflow where you might want to download the modules where your Go mod is already figured out. Unless you want to include that as part of the beta, and you want to make sure, and you say like Go proxy is a drop-in replacement for non-Go proxy, which is totally cool. We just need to work on it. Basically, the way that I've been using the Go proxy, at least internally in my team, is that if I ever want to add a new dependency, I'll do a regular go get, but then my CI/CD, when it actually builds the image, it uses a Go proxy and it uses Athens. And so that ensures this problem never ever occurs. And so we can include that in the doc for beta, saying like, if you have your Athens as part of CI/CD, you're fine. And if not, like check out this issue. This is the one remaining known issue that
So
you just
it looks like if you did a go get PKG errors without the SHA, it's going to get latest, and then you're fine. Is that right?
I think things would be stored as the pseudo version, so you should be fine.
Okay.
I would have to check, but if you do something like that, or if you do @master,
okay.
Those are the two things where you could have a problem. So this could be just a known issue in our docs to say for beta, don't do that. And if you have Athens as part of your CI/CD, I'm going to go out on a limb and bet that you'd never encounter that issue.
That. Okay. So this is now in beta. I've just been calling v0.1.0 as beta because I figured version number is a thing. So I put it in there, and then if we do decide to do the docs you said tomorrow on, then I'll move it out.
Sounds good.
Cool. So now we're looking at this for beta. Nope, that's wrong. This for beta. So this for beta, same stuff for preview. Sounds like Marwan, you're focusing a lot on the beta stuff, as am I. Yeah, I mean, if people want to do other stuff, I mean, I don't think anyone has a problem with that, obviously. Yeah. Cool. Other people have issues they want to talk about?
Just to clarify, what you just added to the beta there, is that basically that yeah, that one, failing to go get packaged by revision, is that being completed for beta mean that it's just documented, that behavior is documented, or the intention of how the proxy should be used as CI/CD is documented, not that this issue itself is resolved?
I think we still have to decide. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, did I interrupt you? I'm sorry.
No, sorry, you go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say, I think we have to decide, do we want to document that it doesn't work or do we want to fix it? I don't know the answer.
I think fixing it would be nice for beta, but it would push it. It would change a bit. Like I would say, like we've been really close with beta. Like we have just a couple more issues, like just docs and bizarre. And so I would say like it could be done within a week or two. But then if we want to fix this issue, I would give it a month or two. So it like extend the time for releasing beta because it changes a lot of how we deal with storage. I could be wrong, but that's my guess because I've looked at it a little bit, not intensively. So if people are okay with like extending the beta deadline, well, not that we have any official deadline or anything, but just like knowing that the beta is now pushed like a month or two, then that's totally fine. I think Aaron, it's up to you and others.
You guys probably all know I'd rather ship sooner than later, so you know what my vote is. We can have a vote on GitHub if you guys want. Other people have opinions?
I'm okay with just adding a comment for now.
Okay.
Unless someone wants to jump in, please do. Basically, the biggest thing for Athens, for us at least, is that CI/CD is kind of solved. And so if you're through your dev workflow and you want to add one dependency, you don't need to go proxy. But if you're downloading all your modules without vendor, then this issue is not related. So I think adding just the one comment is good for beta.
Okay.
Manu left a comment, asking, not on the ticket, sorry, in this chat, asking how many users use revisions.
I have no idea.
Probably not a lot. I mean, obviously we don't have any numbers for that stuff, and I don't think Go collects any. I'm pretty sure Go doesn't collect any data on these things, and so I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say probably people use branches more. So at master, at least I find myself doing that every now and then, but I never like grab an actual full SHA. But there are things you can do, so people eventually run into them.
I know
the one with master and at V2 is a branch, that probably happens more often.
Yeah, like I know that a lot of people do use like the CI/CD workflow where you get this. This is like sort of a hack-ish because what you said, Marwan. Like you use
well, that's a pseudo version. So you actually get the whole thing, not just that last part. And so you get the V00 dash timestamp dash revision, and then when we spin off go mod download command, this works as a regular version. So Athens recognizes this as a true Semver version. And so we store it in storage as a regular version. So when you have this whole file, this just works fine. Because we store the whole thing. We don't just take that last part.
Yeah.
I think a little bit of documentation could go a long way here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's sounding like maybe we should do docs now and then push the fix off until V0.2.
For sure.
Let's call this a quick vote and then just do this as a docs thing. Something right there. We decided in the October. All right, I'm push this off, and then I will do another issue. I always forget the flow of these things. Okay. All right. So some more docs to write. It does seem like we're pretty close for VO.1, huh? It's mostly docs. If anyone.
I think a few of them already have PRs as well, if you look into them.
Yeah, you're right. That one doesn't have one yet. I think this one does. Yeah. I'll put the milestone on the PRs. Oh, it does already. Yeah. This one closes something. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. It looks like at least two of these issues are going to be gone soonish. Cool. All right. We got about 10 minutes left. Is there any other things people want to talk about? Okay. All right. I think that's it. Thank you all for coming.
Bye.
Yeah.
See ya.